For people that are only listening on audio and that can't see what the this
chicken scratch looks
chicken
like.
scratch you've just drawn on this iPad, on one hand you list your skills, and then on the second side you're listing the ways you believe you could make the most money from those skills based on the size of the problem you'd be solving with them and the value of the solution. So for example, let me try and play this game with you then. So I am a writer. So I'm going to do my skills on the left hand. I'm a writer, and on the right I'm going to write money.
Yep.
I'm a writer. I'm really good at writing stuff. That's it. And I kind of get the internet. So I kind of understand LinkedIn blogs and stuff like that. But that's it. I'm a writer.
Let's go with what would be the worst. What would be the worst thing you could do if you're a writer?
To make no money?
To make no money. Because sometimes it's easier to do the negative.
Okay, working for a local newspaper.
Yeah, local. I was thinking like fantasy books. Like you could write like fiction, really hard to make money in. You could write for a local newspaper. That's an even worse idea. So I like that. So now you've got your bottom tier, right?
Okay.
Which is like $14 an hour or something like that. Now, if you look about, you could Google this. What is the highest paying jobs for writers? I bet the thing you'd find on top, copywriter. Why?
I got a better one.
Ooh, what's the better one?
Do you know why I know this? Because when I was working in biotech, we couldn't hire one, which is a medical writer.
Oh, so smart. Hyper specialized.
Honestly, so a typical copywriter when I was working in my social media company, we might pay entry level £25,000, which is probably about $35,000.
Okay.
A medical writer, someone that can write about the psilocybin compound in my psychedelics business, would get paid $150,000 or more. We just couldn't find some. We found loads of people that could write.
Yeah.
But nobody that had within their skill stack, even though it's quite easy to teach, the ability to write using medical words, slightly medical words. It doesn't mean you need a medical degree. You could probably learn how to become a medical writer in a month if you really committed yourself to it. So that's the
so
top
true.
end.
And same with finance. We go to the things we know. So biotech, so there's a niche there. I know finance, and I know that, again, it's one of the highest paying industries. So a financial writer. What would that look like? It would look like somebody who knows how to write probably an investor update.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So hugely lucrative. And then the other thing you could do is, I guess I didn't even think about this before, it would be like size of the problem, it would be value of the solution, and then it would also be structure of your job. So like if you're a copywriter, I wouldn't take a job for $35K. What would I do? I would say, hey, pay me, what is the salary you want to offer? $35,000, I'll take $10,000 so I can eat because I'm hungry. But can I have a percentage of the upside that I drive above and beyond goal? So if I'm going to write copy that converts into revenue, like I'm going to write a funnel for your biotech company, or I'm going to write a funnel to get investors for you. If right now per month you get $100,000 through that funnel, how about you just pay me an extra 10% of everything I drive above your 100K? So I think that's another way you can make more money, is getting smarter on deal structuring.
Well, that's actually when I moved into biotech, how I got paid. And when I talked about being paid 1,000 times more than I would have previously, it's because the way I got paid was in options in the IPO.
Ah, brilliant. Yeah.
So I got given, in that particular company, I got given 400,000 shares effectively in the company at a certain price. And so when the company IPO'd at $3.2 billion on the NASDAQ in July 21 or something, even though I'd only worked in the company for about 6 months, just helping them build out the marketing team, I think my net return was, on the equity value at the time, was quite close to 10 million. So 6 months work, 10 million return, because and the really the reason I did it was because I was so interested in psychedelics, but it just opened my eyes to the fact that any kid with social media skills and that knew how to structure a deal with these people could have walked in there and said, give me some stock in this IPO and I'll run your social media for 6 months.
You're so right.
Could have changed your life.
Yeah. And it's something I'm struggling with trying to get people to understand right now, is that even if you never buy a business, which is what people fixate on, well, I haven't bought a business yet. It's like, God, you're never going to regret learning how to do deals.
100%.
You're never going to, I think that is the most valuable skill set in the world.
I completely agree. And it's so unfair that people don't know about it.
It's so unfair, but it's also your fault if you don't know about it, because nobody's gatekeeping this information anymore. It used to be gatekept. Like when I first started off in private equity, I wasn't allowed in the rooms where they were actually doing the deals and the terms. And if I wanted to see what the final terms were, like I had to kind of, sweet talk my way into figuring out how they structured it.
But it's an unknown unknown. So before I knew, I didn't know that I didn't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But now I think there's enough people out there talking about it where you're like, I mean, if you think about whether you like Donald Trump or not, what is he really good at? Deals.
The art of the deal.
Like that's it. And that is what, Elon Musk, how does Tesla actually make money? They make money through credits for solar. So he was able to survive for those 10 years of building that company because he has some of the best solar tax credits in the world that he negotiated with the government.
So where does one go then? Where does a 25-year-old kid listening to this go to learn how to make deals?
Well, I have a book coming out called Main Street Millionaire.
Yes. Exciting.
I know. And we have stuff we can tell them about that later too.
Okay. Well, I'm going to link Main Street Millionaire below so everyone can pre-order it. I've pre-ordered, I think 10 or 20 copies of it, maybe a couple more.
But that's like $30 and you learn almost everything you need to know about doing a deal to start.
Mm-hmm.
And that book is only what you need to know. I made it on purpose, not really long, not overly intense. It is exactly what you need to know. And then if you like learning deal making and you like that book, then you go to contrarianthinking.com and we have courses and free newsletters and a community all about buying businesses. But that's where you should start.
I think I agree because the way that you break down information is so accessible and it really appreciates the naivety of the person on the other end. You have a remarkable way of communicating in a way that's really inviting versus excluding. And a lot of people, when they're talking about these subjects, they exclude you, and they don't even know that they're doing it because they're so smart and they're so advanced. But I've been lucky enough to take a look at the initial copy of your book, the sort of first draft of it, and it was exactly what I think 99% of people that are listening to this right now need to. It's the gap that they have in their thinking. So I'd highly recommend everyone go and pre-order it. I'm going to link it below. I really, really highly recommend it. And
Thank you.
if I'm wrong about that, please do send me abuse in my DMs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I spent 3 years writing it. And that was always the part I was nervous about. It's like when I get it to all my smart friends, what are they going to think? So when I showed it to you and like Andrew Wilkinson, all these people who had done deals, I was like, fuck, are they going to like it? So that means a lot, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Heavily anticipated. A lot of people are talking about it. So I'm very, very excited.
Thank
One thing I did want to talk to you about before I just go to the last question here is prejudice, because I don't think people talk about it enough. Obviously, you and I, and really everybody, experience prejudice in business and in life, in wealth, and everything, investing, whatever it might be. What is your perspective on that? When I say prejudice, I mean, you're a woman in business. I was a young black guy at one point that had a big afro and was very, very poor, trying to make it in life. What relationship should we have with the prejudice we face?
I had a woman ask me the other day, how do I show up as a woman in a male-dominated industry? Because you've done that, Codie. And she said, I've had struggles with it. And my feeling and response on that is this, that what do you think the universe gives you when you tell the universe that I struggle because I am a woman in business? It's going to give you struggle. What do you think the universe would give you if instead you said, I have such incredible opportunity because I look different than everybody here. And if I am good, I am so much more memorable than every Tom, Dick, and Larry in a blue suit that looks just like everybody else. What if the thing that you think is your biggest weakness and the thing that makes you feel excluded and less than is actually your biggest strength? And if you could flip your mindset on that, how much more money and opportunity would you have? And how much more interesting would you be for other people who are wealthy and successful to be around? Do you want to be around somebody who is labeling themselves as a victim and complaining all the time? Or do you want to be around somebody who thinks that the world is full of opportunity? And it's a hard lesson to learn because the truth of it is, business is hard. You will be shit on. People will keep you out. People will judge you for your skin color and being a woman or a man or not, for sure. But don't let that into your psyche. Instead, choose the opposite and watch what happens.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.